business, you don't keep that type of money in just regular account. So I had to wire the money from somewhere. Okay? So I wired the money to the account, and when I wired it to the account, I went straight to the bank. I go to the bank myself to make sure shit get done. Because the thing is this, I can't make all the money unless somebody else do all the dictating and do all the control.
He don't need any money.
He spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any.
Floyd, are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's planning for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests
that you are bankrupt. How do you respond to that? I don't think you have publicly responded
well,
yet.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, if we call having 2 private jets, owning 100 buildings, being able to do what you want to do, if that's bankrupt, then I'm pretty sure everybody want to live like that.
Floyd Mayweather spoke candidly on Joe Rogan's podcast about losing $1.1 billion, explaining that he still owns a private jet along with hundreds of properties. He made it clear that if anyone considers that being broke, then everybody would gladly choose to be broke.
Talk about the Business Insider article that ran.
Yes.
We debunked this reporting, but the gist of it was that Dan Geiger, the BI reporter, said that you didn't do the $400 million Black Spruce deal. Mm-hmm. And you sued BI and Geiger for defamation recently. You said that Geiger harassed you and your family through hundreds of phone calls, and you also said his reporting was racially biased. What do you hope to get out of suing Geiger? Why did you do that?
Well, I leave that to the judge. I leave that to the lawyers. I just want the people to know, I'm 48 years old. I know you guys want to talk about real estate. Only thing I'm doing is answer the question.
That is a real estate question.
Okay, so out of 48 years, I'm 48 years old, and I've never sued a media outlet. The media outlet throughout my life has bashed me, talked bad about me, spoke bad about my family. I'm not a liar. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. I work hard to build my name, to build my reputation, and I'm not gonna let anyone go out there and smear my name and talk bad about me, talk bad about my family, or talk bad about my companies.
Joe Rogan says Floyd's reckless spending is exactly what led him to go broke, blowing money on million-dollar watches and a bunch of things he never truly needed, while going overboard with just about everything in his lifestyle.
Oh, man, he needs that money. That money has to keep coming in if you're going to live like this.
It's not that expensive, though, but...
He's only 46. But he does this with everything, man. He's got million-dollar watches.
I don't think he buys every pair.
You think they give them to him?
Yeah, because then you get a video like that.
Right. That's smart.
And then you get Floyd's Air Force Ones given away for charity that's attacked.
At the same time, a tweet about Floyd has exploded on X, already pulling in more than 7 million views. The post claims Mayweather went bankrupt after making somewhere between $1.20 and $2 billion during his career, and says seeing his homes and cars reportedly heading to auction feels surreal. Financial analyst Akos Gupta shared the post and broke down how wildly expensive Floyd's lifestyle had become. According to him, Mayweather never wore the same underwear twice, paid someone to wash his cars every single day, dropped $12,000 a week at a Japanese steakhouse, and once tossed $50,000 into a swimming pool for strippers. He also spent huge money on diamond-covered gadgets, a $10 million engagement ring, dozens of exotic cars, plus 2 private jets valued at $60 million and $30 million. On top of that, gambling burned through millions, and even after a $7 million jewelry robbery, he never slowed down. Gupta added that the IRS came after him for $22 million, but much of his fortune was tied up in assets that were not easy to turn into cash, which caused delays. He then said that now in 2026, the first jet has been sold, creditors were approved by a court to go after his Bugatti, his strip club owes unpaid taxes, and he still has not paid Logan Paul the $1.5 million from their fight 4 years ago. He also said Floyd's team asked Showtime to provide the financial records from his boxing career, but Showtime responded that those documents had been destroyed in a flood. Floyd Mayweather once lived a level of luxury that was almost impossible to believe, and one dealer who sold him more than 100 cars said Floyd always paid in cash and loved making his wealth visible.
I had to invest in a brand new cash counting machine specifically for Floyd. The one we have
you know, it was just not that great, so we spent a little more money and got the best one, and it's really...
Floyd defended the way he chooses to live, saying it is his life and he would have no issue if someone else earned the same kind of money and spent it however they wanted. He argued that the stories about him being broke are driven more by jealousy than by the actual truth.
I'm pretty sure I'd be upset too if I was somebody else. I'd be mad at Mayweather too. 29 years or 30 years, you keep getting money like this. I'd be mad too. I'd be hating on Mayweather too. Continue to hate. You know, people only talk about winners. I'm a winner, so continue to talk. Keep your bread fresh. Put it in the bag. Want me the bread, man. Tip money. Fucking throw it in here, too. Throw it in the Floyd bag. See, I'm born in crocodile phones, Himalayan phones, crocodile bags.
Wade Plemons responded to Logan Paul's comments about Floyd Mayweather by confirming that Floyd still owes Logan $1.5 million from their exhibition fight, putting more attention on the ongoing dispute over money that has still not been paid.
Because he's still waiting on the 1.5 from Floyd Mayweather. He made this video simultaneously with the beef with Le'Veon, and I don't know, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it isn't.
Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2. The fight nobody asked for except me. I need this because if Floyd wins, he can finally pay me my $1.5 million. I don't care about the legacy fight. I don't care that these men have a combined age of 100 years. I care that Floyd Mayweather, the best boxer alive, uses those same hands that made him 100 million to Venmo me my money. And Floyd, if you're watching this, win it and pay me back or I'm gonna send my goons after you. Gotcha. Hey.
I really don't know why I watched that. Yeah, listen, dude. Logan is, again, functionally a coward for not doing this. I was really excited for it, too. I couldn't wait. That was about to be content, stud. But, I mean, okay, yes, I understand if he is under WWE contract, they're not going to allow him to do certain things.
Floyd Mayweather is reportedly dealing with financial pressure, and some observers believe his new manager may be part of the problem. His lavish spending habits, paired with certain management choices, seem to have made the situation even worse. Court testimony identified one of the central names in the case as Jonah Rechnitz, who was described as one of the most significant and prolific cooperating white-collar witnesses in the recent history of the Southern District of New York.
19 million of the money was lost. So to lose 19 of 20 million, I mean, what, did you go to the casino over and over? Like, you know. So Rechnitz, now mind you, this is Floyd's new buddy, his new financial advisor. Rechnitz became what prosecutors called, quote, one of the single most important and prolific white-collar cooperating witnesses in the recent history of the Southern District of New York, testifying in multiple federal corruption trials. He claimed to have weekly phone conversations with Mayor de Blasio on his personal cell phone in exchange for campaign contributions. De Blasio, of course, was never charged. Now in court, Rechnitz paints himself as a changed man. While living in New York, I felt pressure to become a big shot, he told the judge. Sound familiar?
He described having weekly calls with Mayor de Blasio on his personal cell phone in return for campaign donations, although de Blasio was never charged in the case. During his court appearance, Jonah Rechnitz presented himself as someone who had changed, speaking about the pressure he felt to become a major figure while living in New York. Some people have drawn comparisons between his situation and Floyd Mayweather's, arguing that similar pressure and management decisions can create serious financial complications. Even with legal issues, a 5-month prison sentence, and 5 months of house arrest tied to the case, he still has not served any time, showing just how tangled the connection between money and power can become.
5 months in prison, 5 months house arrest, but he's yet to serve any time. I'm sorry, he got sentenced to 10 months in 2019. Five months in prison, 5 months and house arrest, but he's yet to serve any time. His sentencing has been repeatedly delayed and reassigned to different judges. But he remains free nearly 9 years after pleading guilty. So he's been out of jail for 9 years. The guy hasn't even done his 5 months. So he's got his hand in the corruption cookie jar still, it seems like. After the scandal, he went where he's from and became a jeweler. He launched Jadel Jewelry and Diamonds, leveraging connections to celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Shaq, and Scotty.
Teddy Atlas points out that the way people view Floyd Mayweather has changed in a major way. The same public that once praised and celebrated his unmatched success is now laughing at him, treating what many see as his biggest downfall like a joke. Fans and supporters who used to admire his lavish lifestyle and undefeated record are now questioning the financial moves he made and the personal choices that followed. Atlas says this kind of reversal is a powerful reminder of how fast public opinion can turn. Mayweather's path from celebrated champion to someone now facing criticism shows just how fragile fame and fortune can be in the world of sports.
Oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Steven Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And I've taken arrows for it, and of course I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's going to say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over at Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available, because the landscape made it.
An economics expert breaks down Floyd Mayweather's financial situation by explaining how complicated his earnings and business deals have been over the years. Al Heyman, Floyd's longtime advisor and manager, played a major role in landing him a 6-fight contract worth $250 million, a rare setup that allowed Mayweather to choose his own opponents while still getting paid at the highest level. The expert says Floyd's image, star power, and ability to draw huge audiences turned him into one of the highest-paid athletes in the world between 2012 and 2014, with major ticket sales and enormous revenue attached to his fights. At the same time, lawsuits claimed that even though Mayweather was paid hundreds of millions through different associates and business channels, he may still have been underpaid in some of his biggest bouts.
Whether you get that 6-fight, $250 million contract, but what was unheard of about it, Mayweather got to pick his own opponents and still get paid. Mayweather, the persona he cultivated, whether you like it or not, has sold tickets. He was a big draw. He was the top earning athlete. Mayweather did his thing for sure. But in this lawsuit, it is alleged that while Mayweather was paid several $100 million through his different associates, those 6 fights with Showtime, and then he did, after that, he did the Pacquiao, for which he received a $100 million check, but he was supposed to get $200 million. He got a $100 million check, but he was supposed to get. So it's easy to get blinded, like it's a lot of money, but if you're supposed to get.
For example, the Pacquiao fight brought Floyd $100 million, even though he was expected to make $200 million. The expert stresses that once the numbers climb into the hundreds of millions, every mistake becomes costly, and not receiving the full amount you were counting on can put serious pressure on your finances. He also explains that Heyman works very differently from promoters like Don King, moving quietly but effectively behind the scenes while managing fighters such as Adrian Broner and putting together major deals with companies like Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar de la Hoya. In the end, the economics expert believes Mayweather's financial issues are more likely tied to complicated contracts and management arrangements than to spending alone.
He fought Conor McGregor, huge. He fought Pacquiao. So now he's talking about fighting Mike Tyson. He does seem to be having money problems. And I don't care how many goddamn watches he bought, the amount of money he made boxing, unless he's been getting swindled on the business end. Once you start getting into having hundreds of millions of dollars, you're getting $10, $15 million a year or 20, 30, $40 million a year in interest. Right? If you're just in the stock market is like doubled in the last 4 years, right? I mean, so anyway, so Al Heyman is this. He's not like a Don King. He doesn't have that reputation. He has this, that he's a brilliant businessman. He stays
Analyst Fannin recently outlined the legal steps Floyd Mayweather has taken, showing how mounting financial pressure has pushed the boxing icon to sue former business partners. Even after earning more than $1 billion during his unbeaten career, Floyd has reportedly faced major problems behind the scenes tied to heavy spending, gambling losses, and tax trouble. Fannin says these lawsuits seem aimed at getting back money Mayweather believes should have gone to him, or at confronting what he sees as poor handling by people he once relied on. Throughout his career, Mayweather lived a kind of lifestyle that most people could hardly imagine.
According to TMZ, let's get to the TMZ. Floyd Mayweather sues Showtime, saying, "I'm missing hundreds of millions of dollars." Floyd Mayweather Jr. says he made over $1 billion in earnings over his legendary career, but the 50-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account. He is now suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the lawsuit filed by Floyd in California and obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's gunning to recover hundreds of millions of dollars in the misappropriated funds and damages resulting from long-running and elaborate
He built a life filled with dozens of exotic cars, several private jets, and expensive real estate, while also pouring huge amounts of money into jewelry, luxury gadgets, and lavish events. Gambling reportedly cost him millions on its own, and unpaid taxes only added more pressure. Even with earnings that large, spending at that level helped create a situation where Mayweather felt he had to go to court to protect what he believed was his financially. Fannin says these legal actions are not only about recovering money, but also about defending Floyd's reputation and the way his business was handled. In the bigger picture, they expose how complicated wealth management can become, proving that even the highest-earning athletes can still run into serious financial and legal problems when large fortunes are disputed or poorly managed.
Parties to see whether or not this is something that Floyd should have known about, or did know about, or maybe did not understand. Because it seems very, very funny that Floyd would not know that the money was getting paid to Al Heyman and not directly to him. Regardless, I don't know the outcome of that. I will talk about this though. The absolute blatant karma up in Floyd Mayweather's face for all the smack he talked about Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad Ali's name was only worth $50 million and he sold half of his name for $50 million and how he's made so much more money and that makes him all of that. Talked about how Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, or I don't know if he did, but I'd heard, talked about Floyd. Yeah, he did, because he talked about his money and how he had to sell his name because he didn't.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. built his image not only as one of boxing's all-time greats, but also as a living symbol of excess, constantly showing off enormous wealth throughout his career. From massive collections of luxury cars and multiple private jets to diamond-covered watches and expensive high-end gadgets, his spending was always on full display. His lifestyle became so over the top that he hired people whose only responsibility was maintaining the things he owned, including someone assigned to clean his car collection every single day. He was known to spend tens of thousands each week at restaurants, lose millions gambling on sports, and throw huge stacks of cash around at parties as a way of putting his fortune on display. But according to recent reports and analysis, including commentary from the boxing Ego host, the flashy public image hides a far more complicated financial situation behind the scenes.
We are going to go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're going to see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're going to take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent on a luxurious duplex in...
Even though Floyd Mayweather made more than $1 billion during his career, his spending habits, gambling losses, and tax obligations seem to have taken a major toll on his net worth. Reports of unpaid taxes, ongoing legal battles, and growing rumors about financial pressure stand in sharp contrast to the image of wealth and total control he spent years presenting to the public. That gap between appearance and reality shows how unstable extreme spending can become, even for someone as successful as Mayweather. What once looked like unlimited riches is now being framed as a warning about how unchecked luxury and poor financial management can seriously change the future of even the wealthiest athletes.
In arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the $100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the $100K, and I guess a deposit, so the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry.
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned because there's a lot more coming in the next update.